Greetings, salutations, new video for you. Something I've been wanting to do for a little while. Those of you who follow me for a while and watch the latest ones, you know I get MREs. I'm a bit of a prepper. I like to have stuff. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. But one of the easiest things you can do to have a few things with you in case something happens is an EDC Keychain. And anybody doesn't know what EDC stands for, it's everyday carry. And the best thing to do is put it on a keychain. Now remember, when you make an EDC keychain, don't buy the most expensive stuff to put on your keychain. One, you could lose your keys, or you could drop your keys, or run over them with your car, or whatever. You could do some damage to them. So don't buy the most expensive stuff, because this is just a simple stuff to have as backup, just in case you need it for any other reasons. Remember to keep it, on the budget. Now the first thing you really should do is use airplane wire to make your keychain. And if you've never seen it, it comes in, looks like this. And this is the end that screws to this end. You can get these in 10 packs, 20 packs, and these are dirt cheap. There's no reason not to get these. They're flexible, they're light, and if it breaks for any kind of reason, you just put all your stuff on it. When you put it together, it makes a nice little loop just like this. And then when you want to add stuff to your keychain, you just unscrew, and it's got a nice long screw, as you can see. There you go. So you can put stuff on this end, put it together, get the circle. So I highly suggest this. This is the base for your keychain. Now I have one that keeps my keys on it. Now I don't have any EDC stuff on here right now because I just wanted to show you that it can just be used for your keys in general. I have a nice little hook. I don't even remember where I got this one from, so you can hook it onto things. It's a pretty good size hook. I never use the hook, so I really don't need that. That would be one of the things that's up to you. If you clip your keys to your pant loops, that would be a good thing to have. But if you don't, if you just put them in your pocket, you don't really need to have that. Now, if you're going to build one of these, you of course need one of these. Now you have two ways, like I said. You could do a hook, and I've got these right here, small little black hooks. These work really good, and that hole will take, if I can line it up properly here. Oops, got to go to the other end, sorry. Yeah, I can make sure to go right through the smaller end. We'll go through that hook, see? And you now have a hook on your thing if you want to do that. Now if you're somebody that doesn't, little hook, kind of hard for the fingers, kind of hard to clip on, hard to clip off, but you want to be able to wear the keys on the outside, not in your pocket, because maybe you got a cell phone or whatever, you don't want to scratch it up. This is the perfect solution right there. Now, as you see, that would go right over your belt, or it would slide right over a pocket, and your keys would be on the outside, and you would just take your thing, put it right through that loop. This is the ideal solution in my opinion. This is probably what I'm going to start going with because it's easier just to slide it on, and when it's on the keychains, it just hangs down like a key, so it doesn't really affect anything. So this right here, in my opinion, is the perfect solution. And all these things are dirt cheap to find on eBay, Amazon. I mean, these are literally like $1, $2 or something like that, and it'll clip right over your belt, right over your pocket, even over a shirt, even over your, if you go right over your shirt, just like that, see, it just hangs. So I think that's a perfect solution for that. But you've got choices. Always keep a couple extra rings on it, because some things will need rings. Now, what should be on an EDC keychain? That's up to you. What is it? Some of the things that you think you might need, something you always seem to have a need for, like you're always like, well, I need to get one of those, or you're always looking for one. Of course, some of the easier things would be a small flashlight would be good. Now, you can go just basic, or you can kind of have a little fun with it. It depends on your personality. There is this one, which looks like a bullet, but as you can see, it's got 2 buttons. Now, this is really super light. It's like a real thin metal. It's not a real bullet, obviously, but it looks like one. And of course, it's got, you can put this part right here onto the keychain and take this whole chain and hook thing off if you want, or you can put that in a key, whatever works for you. But as you can see, it's got 2 buttons. One button is an infrared red dot. I don't think it's showing up in the camera too well, but you can kind of see it. But red dot, you don't really need that. It's part of it. But the other part is the light. Now, as you can see, that is very bright, and it's super light, so that would not add any weight at all to your keychain. kind of a conversation piece, and would definitely do what you need. Now, if you want something a little better, I've got this light. Now, I've got one of those little black hooks on it, but you can, once again, just put that right on the keychain if you want. But I like the little black hook on this one because I think it makes it easier for it to kind of hang a little bit. And this one, the button is the top. And this one is very bright. This is a nice LED. Once again, doesn't weigh much, but in my opinion, this would be the one to get. Because, you know, the other one, unless you're kind of into the bullets and the laser pointer thing, you know, and they're basically the same price. Once again, $2 or $3 a piece. But this one, I think, is a much better one. Good clicky sound to it. Easy to... Plus, you can leave it on. So you can't do that with these ones. This one, you have to keep your finger on the button. See? If you take your finger off, there you go. So, if you want a flashlight, best kind is one that clicks on and off. And like I said, cheap, easy to replace with button cell batteries. Probably last you a long time. What else would be a thing? I think the obvious thing would probably be some sort of cutting instrument, you know, a knife of some sort. There's two ways to go. You can go the stealthy version, which would be this. Looks like a key, not much thicker than a key, but of course this one has a blade in it, a nice long blade, which would be good for cutting, rope, things like that, or self-defense. It's definitely got the long enough for it. It's got a pretty good edge on it. It could probably be sharpened a little bit better, but these, once again, are just a couple of bucks at the most. They come in different colors, so you can get one that's brass, looks like a real key. I like the black one because it's a little more subtle, but all metal. You can't go wrong. Good little, like, pocket knife, basically, but on your keychain, which is a good place to have it in case you need it. Now, if you're want something that's got a slightly better blade to it, and you want something that's still light, these are perfect. This is actually a knife, and as you can see, it is super thin. And what you do is you slide the blade out, it clicks into place, it's hollow down here, and there's your blade. It also happens to have a bottle opener built in as well, so it's got two tools in one. And that one is very light, but once it locks, it's in there pretty good. And this one would be my preferred one. The key one's nice, but this one is a little bit thinner and definitely a little less weight to it, but it's a much thicker blade. So it would have less chance of breaking it. And then when you want to pull, you just kind of push and slides back in, and you just hang it off your keychain. In my opinion, this would be the perfect one. Now, if you're not a knife person, but you want to carry something that's going to cut with, another solution, which is a good solution, it's a pair of scissors. You can see the hook at the top, and these just open up. These are good for medical bags, by the way, as well, for your med kit, because they don't take up much room. But perfectly good sized pair of scissors for cutting would definitely work if you're not, you know, wanting to carry a knife per se, regulations or whatever, or maybe you're someplace where that might not be acceptable. And then you just, once again, you got to make sure this hole is the same size as the small end of the airplane wire. You can see it goes right in there. So you could have a pair of scissors, and the good thing is, because this would be on your keychain this way, when you open it up, scissors are still perfectly functional. No issues with that at all. So this is a good solution if you want something to cut with, but you're not comfortable with knives, or you can't have knives or what have you. Pair of scissors, a good one. Now, what else could you put on here? There's a slew of different things you could do. One of the things I would suggest is a whistle. Yes, this is a metal, I don't know if you can hear that, it's a metal whistle. It's black. I like it black because it kind of blends in, but these come in different colors, and these are, I think I paid $1.25 for that, and it came with the little hook, which you could use because the hole down here is a little too small for the keychain, so this one you'd have to keep on a hook, but it's got a built-in whistle. You know, worst case scenario, it's always nice to have it. It'll bring attention, or if you're lost, if you know, or hurt and somebody's looking for you, whistles are always good to have. What else can you do? Well, there's a few other little options. One is this little thing right here. This is a small pry bar. Now this is interesting because, first of all, it's got a place right here that you can put over nails and pop them up. And of course you can also use this like a little cat's paw, you know, slide underneath, pop things up. But this, as you can see, is definitely a little bit thicker, a little heavier grade. This is good for prying into things, like popping something open, a door or window or something. This has a lot of uses for it. This is small, but this has got weight to it. So you would know this is on your keychain. But of course you want that because this is something you'd be, putting a lot of pressure on and trying. So this has to be a little higher quality. But even this, I can't remember the exact price, but I want to say I got it for like $3. I mean, it might even be a little bit cheaper. But this Pry Bar is a good thing to have. It's a multi-tool, and you can get it in black if you don't want something shiny. I think at the time I can only find this in the chrome version, but black. I think it might come in olive green too, but I'm not sure. Okay, another thing that might be something you want to have if you're like me, you got glasses with small screws. They have a tendency to get a little loose, and you don't always have your eyeglass repair kit with you. This is a screwdriver set. At this end, if you unscrew it, make sure I get it the right way here. This end unscrews. I don't want to lose the pieces. And you got little bits in this end. That's where you store them all. And there's a couple little screwdriver, different sizes, but they are the smaller ones that would be used for like glasses and stuff. And then you loosen this end up, they slide in and click, and then you tighten this end down, and they're about that long out there. So now you got screwdrivers for doing glasses and glass repairs. This is the definite, especially anybody with glasses, sunglasses. Whenever these screws get loose, if you don't get to them before they fall out, you'll never find them when they go out. I have an eyeglass repair kit that's in my EDC bag. That's got the little screwdriver plus the screws in it, but this is good to have just in case, just for small little things. Once again, dirt cheap, and this weighs hardly nothing. I mean, there's no weight to most of these besides like the Pry Bar. The Pry Bar and the key-shaped knife have a little more weight to them, but this, not much weight, but a nice little screwdriver could come in handy. Another thing to have would be this. This is ingenious. This is a pair of tweezers. There you go. Look at that. You just squeeze them together, then slide it back in, and when it tries to open, the little thing holds it. And that, of course, goes on your keychain. Now, probably, I wouldn't have this in my keychain, but I would probably have this on a keychain that I would keep these tools on, and then keep that in my bag, just to keep them so it's easy to grab out of the bag if you need them. But you can never go wrong with a pair of tweezers. That could come in very handy. And of course, anybody that's a prepper will tell you, I believe it's a P38, if I'm not mistaken, can opener. And as you slide open, there it is. And you can use this to open up your cans. But this is a slightly different one, and I can't remember the number off this one. Somebody out there will probably know it, but this one actually has a vegetable peeler on it. Yes, it actually you can use this to peel vegetables, or anything that you need to take the outer skin off. I never thought of that with the original one that I had, because I got a couple of these. But this is the one that I got that's got the vegetable peeler on it, and it's got a pretty good little edge on it. So for the literally 5 cents more it costs to get this version, because once again you're getting a multiple tool that's going to do 2 things instead of just one. And this, of course, weighs nothing. It's still pretty solid metal, made good. Military uses them, or they did anyway. I don't think they use them anymore. But as you can see, this is a good one to have. And one of the last ones I got is this. This is a toenail clipper, fingernail clipper. But as you can see, it is very thin. This has a little weight to it, but not quite as much as this one. But the nice thing about this is it's all contained. There's a little slide button on the side, and what you do is you slide it back, and it releases. You turn it up, and there you go. Now you can see toenail clippers. That is a very practical thing to have. You get a fingernail that's ripped or caught on something, and it's just horrible. But the good thing about this one is you pull this lever back out and lay it down, and then slide your mechanism over. It clicks in. There you go. And once again, this one would have to be on the key ring, but that's fine. A few of them would have to be. So all in all, those are some ideas you could do for your EDC. One other thing you can do, if you're not really into the whole thing, but you want to have like a tool on you to do a few different things, this is something you should probably have in your, your go bag, or you could use this as a keychain as well. You could hook stuff through here and let it hang off, or down through these holes right here and let your keys hang off it. But what this is basically a multi-tool. Now, of course, it can clip on, but on this side, let's see if it's this side. Yeah, this side, there is a small ruler, 2 inches thereabouts, I think. This side, you have a match striker. Because one of the things about strikers for matches is they wear out, or they get wet, they don't work. This is actually a roughened edge that you could drag a match over and it'll work. It's got a small pry bar, like I was showing you on this one, built down to that end. As you can see, it's got 2 small holes for different size nuts, so you can put that right over and just use like a wrench. Also on this end, as you can see, it's got step downs, so different size bolts will fit here, then the next bolt down, and you can use this to turn bolts. Very good tool. Also down here at the bottom is a cutter. It's a small little blade, so you feed, you know, wire through or some string and then pull down, and this will cut through the string. It also on this side has 4 different, there's 2 screwdrivers and then like a small pick and everything, but these rotate so you can get to them with ease, so that you can use those. So it rotates around. So this is a great multi-tool to have. If you're not going to carry anything, if you don't feel like putting stuff in your keychains, carry this. You can put this in your pocket, or you can hang it off your belt. But it doesn't take that much room. It's got a lot of possibilities for tools that you might need, and is a good thing to do. And like I said, you can always hang the keys off the bottom, or just put them through here in the loop and do it that way if the rest of this doesn't work for you. Now, me personally, out of all these things, I would probably definitely would have the pry bar. I would go with a small knife that locks out, because that's a good blade, plus it's got a can opener, so you got 2 items there. I would have those 2 things. I would probably put the whistle on, because it's so light, there would be no reason to. And I would definitely have the flashlight, because flashlights are very, very good. You know, if you don't mind a little extra weight, throw in the toenail clippers. I think that would be a good combination. But these 2 give you a knife and the pry bar. I think they're probably the 2 best ones to have on your EDC keychain. Now, oh, and this clip, like I said, slides right, so it just slides right over your belt, your pocket, or whatever, and then you can put your keys on it. Much better than the hook that I got on mine, which, you know, it's kind of small. If you have big fingers, or if you're an older person and arthritis, that's not really a practical thing to have. But some people like to hook things, you know, that's just kind of their things. I think this is a much easier use. So if we were to take one of our things here, we'd slide our little hook on. Then we would slide on, let's say, we'll do the pry bar. Take the knife, put that on there, and then we'll slide our flashlight on there. Now, got to put this thing at the other end first. We got to get that in the right, going the right way. All right, back in we go. Back in we go. Back in we go. And then through this hook. These little black hooks are very stiff because I haven't used them yet, which is good because they won't open on you. So there you go. Now you take those, bring this around, tighten that up. Make sure you get it all the way tightened down. Some people, once they get everything on here that they like, and once you set this up, you don't really change it unless you take your keys off or something. But some people, once they get the screw in there, they'll actually put a little bit of super glue down here, making sure it'll never come undone. I don't have a problem with them getting it that far. Every now and then, if you check it, it's a little loose, just tighten it back up. So there you go. Now, this could hang right off your belt or right off a pocket, and there you go. Then you can put some keys on here, and what you got is you got your flashlight, you got the knife and the pry bar, and the knife can still be used. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it still can be used, though it doesn't go all the way out. The hook on there, I was about to show you this. It has a hook for it to come off. That's what I meant to show you. See? So so when it closes, the hook right here locks, but when you open the knife up, you slide this off, and now your knife is separate, so you can use it. So, and then when you go to close it, slide it in, slide the knife together. There you go. So you got your light, you've got a nice multi-tool with the pry bar, you've got your hanger to keep everything hanging off the thing. And you could throw some keys on there. This weighs less than this does, right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, jeez, I got, how many do I have in there? Good God, I got 5, 6 keys. Oh, by the way, I told you could get the knife key in a different, this is a different version. Now this is a much smaller knife blade, as you can see. The key is a little smaller than the black one. So I prefer the black one because you get a longer blade on it, and it's a pointier one. This one is a little bit cheaper made. It's not quite as good as the other one, so I'll probably, if I do it, I would switch to the black one because you get a longer blade, and it's definitely, as you can see, better built. So there you go. All these parts and pieces, I mean, I bought a bag of like 10 of these and all these other parts and pieces. If I have $15, $16 and all of this, I mean, literally all this stuff all together might be 16 bucks, and that's delivered to the house. There's no reason you can't have an EDC keychain with a few things on there that works for you for less than $10, even less. You could probably do it for $6 or $7, depending on what you want. You know, what's the important things for you. I think pretty much everybody would say probably the knife and the flashlight are the most important, but I think the pry bar is good because there's a lot of things you could do with that one. That was pretty smart. But then again, so's the scissors. I mean, the scissors are always good to have, and of course the can opener is another good one. I would probably throw that on here if I was to make one of these up, you know, to carry that. But even if you just want the keys, the aircraft wire thing works better anyway, and that nice little hanger on the side I think is a good solution. So anyway, that's a few ideas I got for an EDC keychain. If you've got any others, let me know. Let me know what you think about these. And like I said, you can get all these, including these little black hooks and everything. All this stuff is dirt cheap on eBay. You could literally, you know, if you got to wait a little while to get it from China. But don't buy the most expensive stuff. But of course, don't buy the absolute cheapest either. Like, you know, when it comes to like the knife blades and stuff, spend a little bit more money and get yourself something that's all metal, because it'll work better, it'll last longer, and if you can find one with a can opener built in and get a multi-tool out of it, you should probably do that. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.